Okay, so admittedly this video might be a little bit longer than my last few videos. The reason being is because I really want to go in depth about Mario Kart World, how I feel about it, how I kind of feel about the Switch 2 in general, but really this is a first reaction kind of thing to this game. I've played it for about 10 hours now, probably a little under 10 hours, so I can't talk about everything that happens in this game, but I do want to talk about a lot of the main events that I've played so far, some of the stages, as well as some of the characters, and just how I feel about the game overall. So if that's something you're interested in, I hope you enjoyed this video. First and foremost, I want to talk about what is probably the most interesting part of any Mario game, or really any Mario Kart game specifically, and that's talk about the characters. So this game took kind of an interesting approach with characters, because it didn't add a ton of new mainstay characters, but it took a lot of the NPCs and obstacles from previous Mario games and kind of upgraded them to full playable characters. Now in some cases I think this is really cool. It's cool to see characters like Goomba playable, but then you also get characters like Snowman, which, while a interesting choice, there are main Mario characters who have still yet to appear in a Mario Kart game, and along with that there are spin-off characters that we've yet to see. Someone like Egad, I personally think would have been a more interesting option compared to Snowman, and if not Egad, we could have at least got a character like Mecha Koopa, who's appeared a lot over the series, but we've yet to see as a playable character. Speaking of the costumes, I guess I should kind of talk about how it works. Throughout the different maps, there's these little like items that are laid out. You drive through it, and you either get a boost or a costume depending on what character you're playing as. Like I said, I think this is kind of weird because it kind of forces you to play as characters that you might not be interested in playing as to be able to 100% the game. But it is kind of interesting. There's a lot of different food items that you kind of get. There's like ice cream cones, there's hamburgers, there's pizza. There are a lot of new stages in this game, and some of them are more interesting than others. I guess I keep calling them stages. They're courses in Mario Kart, but either way, there's a lot of different ones that are new and interesting, as well as some returning ones. Some highlights for me, specifically, are the King Boo's like cinema one. I know that's not the title of the course, but I think it's really cool. I think there's a lot of cool, interesting art changes. I like that you jump into the screen. And another one, the first one that really stood out to me was the Donkey Kong, I believe it's called Donkey Kong Space Port. It's based on like the original arcade Donkey Kong. I think that one's really cool from start to finish. I think it's a really cool course, and even with the courses, I like that as you play through the Grand Prix, I like that as you play through it, you unlock the characters based on who fits the courses the best. I like that the desert one gives you Daisy. I like that the Donkey Kong one gives you Donkey Kong. I like that the King Boo course gives you King Boo. I like that they've kind of really themed it out. Even Birdo is like the Donkey Kong, or the dinosaur one. I think all of this is really cool, and I think it kind of helped build the world. But speaking of the world, I guess it's time to go ahead and address my biggest complaint with the game. I don't like the open world because it feels like there's nothing to do. You drive around, you complete these little mini missions, which are all either weirdly difficult or completely boring and super easy, and after you do that, you drive around and unlock costumes. There's not a ton to do in the open world, and while it is cool that all the different courses are connected in the way they are, it kind of loses its charm after the first 5 minutes, and then you're in a giant open world with nothing to do. I've seen a lot of people complain that it's not multiplayer, at least not local multiplayer, and I could see that. It's not necessarily a huge issue for me, but I could see why you might have a problem with that. Some of the other modes that are here, the battle mode's back. Battle mode's always kind of fun, but especially in the last few Mario Kart games, it hasn't been the most exciting mode. Then we also have time trials is back. I don't know a single person who plays time trials, but it's back. And then there's also this other new mode. For each lap, a few characters get eliminated, and I personally really enjoy that. I also like that you get to go from course to course to course to course in a way that I kind of thought the Grand Prix was going to be in this game. And overall, it's really fun, and I think that is what they should have marketed this game on a little bit more than the open world, because I think it's a much more fun way to play, and it's unique, and it's something that I hope returns in future Mario Karts. Overall, this game is really fun. I've got to be honest though, I really enjoyed Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'm not sure this game really, at least in its current state, is as good as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But you know, we could always get some DLC, some fun stuff in the future, and I guess we'll see how it turns out. But overall, for a launch title for the Switch 2, it does give me hope for the future, and I think it is a very fun game. I want to say really quick, even though I already filmed the outro, that the zero gravity stuff not being in this game and the underwater segments not being in this game really hurt it. Those were some of the best parts of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why I didn't like this one as much as that game, and I think that that is a huge part of it. I think it was very interesting, whereas this game, it feels very flat. Yeah, the world's huge, there's a lot to explore, but when you can't go underground, or you can't go underwater, or you can't go upside down, I feel like you're missing aspects of this game, and maybe that's what they need to improve with DLC. Add a couple courses that really utilize zero gravity.